Hi everybody, welcome back to the first edition Clubhouse. As we know, today is Saturday. Happy Women's Day, by the way, to all the amazing women out there, but more especially the eldest daughters everywhere across the world. Happy Women's Day to you. Personally, nobody asked me to be their woman for Women's Day, but I hope somebody asked you to be the woman for Women's Day. Anyway, so today, as you know, we like to read stories on the experience of being an eldest daughter. Today, I found another story on Reddit titled "Do Your Mothers Favor Your Younger Sister Over You?" And this one hit personally to me because not only I think maybe not only is it an eldest daughter thing, but the way that it hit personally for me, you don't understand. Like, if I wanted to put all my business out there on the internet, I would. But anyway, let's get into the story time. I've noticed my mom, when given any opportunity, will never criticize or critique my younger sister. Me, my father, my brother, her mother. The way that this is written. Or can I read? Me, my father, my brother, her mother, never her sister. Okay, I can't read. This has happened for years, but today I feel like I've. This has happened for years, but today I feel like I've reached a limit. She was upset today that my father really does housework, a fair point, but failed to criticize my sister for similar. She'll point out that my brother said, no, I can't read it. She'll point out that my brother and he works full time, I work and am in school, can be messy, but not my younger sister, unemployed, not in college, whose only work around the house is putting her laundry in the washer, and even then she doesn't put it in the dryer or unload it. Frequently, she's upset. The kitchen is always disheveled, but shuts me down when I try to point out that it's because my sister waits until everyone is asleep, goes and cooks a meal, and leaves the sink and stove covered in dishes and the countertops full of old dishes of food from her bedroom. I waste electricity doing 3 loads of laundry after a week of not doing any, with no concern for my sister playing games on her PC for 16 hours a day. I realize this a lot, but man, I'm sorry, but I needed to vent. Rent is too high for me to move out. Yeah. Not yet, but this is really getting to me. I understand. I don't understand why. Actually, let me say this. The other day I was on Instagram, and was it Twitter? Doesn't matter. And somebody had said that the relationship that you have with your siblings is highly dependent on how your parents cultivate that environment. So if your children don't like each other, it's because you're a terrible parent. And this is just an example of terrible parenting right here. Honestly, I get it. I relate. Trust me. I don't get it either, but I relate. Let's read some comments. This person says, a lot. Yes, a lot actually, ever since I was a kid. Even when I was a baby, she went through postpartum depression with me and literally handed me over to her parents' house to raise me. So I was practically raised by her siblings and her parents. So I'm very close with them. I hated being home with my mom or my dad around. But when my sister was born, she once again abandoned me there. That I went a whole year without talking to her or calling her my mom. I remember seeing a picture of my baby sister, my parents celebrating her birthday, and they looked so happy together without me. Damn. I started believing that they were better off without me at 6 years old. 6? That's crazy. over the years, I was treated like another adult who had to earn my spot to live there, like doing chores around the house while my sister could just live her life. Oh my god. Yo, yo, guys, yo. You know, your sister is like mine, except my sister never learned how to do the dishes or do the laundry or cook even. I was always expected to do everything while she didn't have to do anything but study. Did I write this comment? No, I didn't. It hurts me so much when I realized my sister had a different mom growing up and I never had one. I'm sorry you're going through this and this sucks, but the sooner you accept that you're never going to get the validation from them, the better. Clock it. Clock it, because I feel like we spend our whole lives trying to be this version of a perfect child for parents that don't give a damn. They always have this, like, their mindset on the child that they like the most, and the sooner you learn to accept that and move on with your life and just do whatever you want to do, the better. Trust me, it doesn't help anybody trying to emulate something that you're not, or trying to become something that you're not, or trying to appease people that don't appreciate you for who you are but want you to be a version of the child that they like the most, but spend years complaining about. So that is very, very, very true. Your sister will learn eventually, and there is nothing you can do. Nothing you can do with your mom about that. True that. You are not. It's not your circus. I mean, it's not your monkeys. What? How does the phrase go? Not my monkeys, not my circus. There we go. Hey, it's self-explanatory. I have just accepted that I'm never gonna get the care from mine. Instead, started being hyper independent to rely on it all. Pros and cons to hyper independence, because you're going to go out into the world and then you're going to meet somebody, and then you just, I don't know, there's pros and cons. Yeah, pros and cons. Let's read one more comment. This comment says, absolutely. My younger sister treats my mother like sugar honey iced tea and is barely present in our family, yet is the golden child. We need to actually talk about why parents or people in general are attracted to people who treat them like nonsense, that don't really care, that are a nuisance per se to society, but they are still like drawn to them. They still want their attention. They still are captivated in what their personality is. I never understood that. Being a victim of it myself, I'm like, or maybe I can only attest to like the romantic part of it, being like you are attracted to people who treat you like nonsense because that's what you think you deserve. But as parents, why would the favorite child or the golden child of your family be somebody who doesn't even care, who doesn't even like contribute, who causes more stress? It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, at the end of the day, like I said before, there's nothing we can do about it. We don't choose our parents choose us. We don't literally choose anything. Like, I started this first edition Clubhouse, the very first video, the introductory video, saying that we are, everything is our fault. Basically, we are the Uber driver, the therapists, the everything. Basically, the house does not run without us. And it's an unfortunate thing, and the sooner we accept that we will not get an answer to the why of it all, the better it is for us to just like move on. And trust me, I know that's not easy. Moving on, people saying like move on, or forgive and forget. Like, that's not easy. um Healing is not a linear thing. You can't just be like, okay, I forgive and forget and then I move on. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, let's just focus on ourselves. Focus on being the best versions of ourselves, and moving on, choosing people that choose us, loving people who love us, respecting people who respect us. Just, you have to give what you want to get, and finding that is not easy. It's not. But eventually it'll come. And if you are an eldest daughter and you are not put off by the idea of having children, learn and then just become a better person. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't treat your children how you were treated. It doesn't help anybody to push generational trauma. It doesn't. Just because it was a pass through doesn't mean it needs to continue through you. It ends with you. It ends with us. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for the example edition. And please share stories so that we can mingle, so that we can chat, so that we can be people, man. Yeah. Bye.